right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to our full elect, Lord willing, to be a part of that number. For the bros from the Demons Been Chicago, I'm Brother Kadar. I'm here with Brother Patakala. And this lesson was basically going through it to get through it, to cut it short. Because the Lord has taken us through these trials, man, to further develop us, all right, and to further mold us more into His image, and with that, it's going to be hurting. It's going to be times that you're going to be hurting. The Lord's not going to forsake us, but it's things that you have to go through, and every day won't be a bad day, but we're going to go through the fire. We're going through the fire now, all right, so we can get delivered later. Did you want to add something on that?
No, we can just get right to read down.
Go ahead, bro.
This is Hebrews 12:5. And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not thou the chastening of Yahweh, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. For whom Yahweh loveth and chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth.
That's right. The scriptures say, he that spareth the rod hateth his son.
That's right.
So we have to get our ass whooped. Here it is, you 10, 15 years of the world all on you, and all of a sudden you come into the truth. That shit that you learned back there has to go, man. That comes through that fire.
That's right. Hey, and not just the things we've done in this life, all right? The earth is the place where the Lord's judgment takes place. And although the Lord has had mercy on us and woke us up and has given us the opportunity to receive this salvation, we've committed infractions not just in this life but in our past life, and those infractions still have to be paid for, man. Just because the things that we done might not have been severe enough to where the Lord is not dealing with us doesn't mean that we still didn't sin against the Lord and have to rectify those things. That's why we're going through all of these trials and tribulations, and first and foremost, that's why we're making our body a living sacrifice on this side, because we got to pay for all of the things that we did, man. And that's something that Jake don't fucking understand, man. And when you understand that, although we're still suffering, your mind state is different going through that. This is Hebrews 12:7. It says, if ye endure chastening, Yahweh dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? All right, so like the brother said, if the Lord is just not chastising you, not punishing you for infractions, that's because the Lord wants you to continue, as the Elder Karab always says, wants you to continue to pile up your sins.
That's right. And
then when Yahweh Shai returns, you're going to receive extreme judgment all at once, instead of paying off your debt now. And for example, you could say it's like if you take a loan out, there's one person who's going to pay the loan back in installments. Then there's the other person who's not going to pay the loan back in installments. He's going to pay the loan back with the interest all in one lump sum at the end, which is going to be more difficult to do than if you're paying down the loan in installments over a long period of time, which is that's what we're doing.
Right.
This is verse 8. It says, but if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons. All right, so hey, man, if you're not going through it, and that's not to say that we're not here in the suffering Olympics, as I would like to say, where we're boasting in the fact that we're getting jacked up, or we're trying to see who's getting jacked up the worst, and like we getting jacked up. Everybody's getting jacked up according to whatever their lot is.
That's right.
And every brother has to whatever they dealing with is something that's difficult for them to deal with.
Exactly.
All right. But at the same time, we know that us dealing with these things is a sign that the Lord is dealing with us, because these people that are in the world, they're going through it too. Especially if you're an Israelite, you're under the curses. But it's a different type of chastisement that they're dealing with, and these people are so gone that they, like it says in Wisdom of Solomon, the 14th chapter, they call these torments comfort, roughly paraphrasing, peace. Yeah, these niggas are at peace with this wicked ass shit that's going on around them, even though they going through it. So it's different for them. But for us, the Lord is making us go through these things, and deal with these things now on a higher level than just the average person, because hey, we're actually taking our debt off of our spirit, man.
That's right.
You know, these people that are going through your average Jake that's not in the truth but still under the curses, he's just basically, it would be like if you were paying a loan but you was only paying off the interest, you wasn't paying down on the principal. So these niggas still, the interest is still going to keep piling up because the principal is there, and all they're doing is making, it's like a credit card minimum payment. That's what the curses is. You that's your minimum payment. You're gonna go through that regardless. What we're doing is paying not just that, we're paying the interest. Not saying that the Lord is giving us interest, but using it as an analogy. We're paying all of that off, and we're paying off on the principal, which means that we're putting up a bigger sacrifice right now. We're putting up a bigger cost right now than your average person who's just under the curses and is comfortable living here, man.
We suffering for that, suffering for righteousness' sake, man.
That's right.
You know, we actually have hope for the broad. You know, hey, real quick, bro, could you read this right here?
Con. This is 2 Maccabees 6:12. Now I beseech those that read this book that they be not discouraged for these calamities, but that they judge those punishments not be for destruction, but for the chastening of our nation. For it is a token of his great goodness when wicked doers are not suffered any long time, but forthwith punished.
That's right. Because the Lord judges the elect right away. That's going into Israel.
That's right.
You know, but the scripture says in Romans, not all Israel is of Israel. You know, the 2/3 are going to suffer the death of the heathens.
That's right.
You know, Sirach 40, it says famine, death, the sword, these things are created for the wicked.
That's right.
And for their sakes came the flood.
That's right.
You know, hey, so these things are for the wicked. Their sins are being stacked up so they can catch the missiles, so they can catch the plagues before that. You know, but the elect, we're getting judged right away. Okay, so what the brother was talking about, it's just backing up what the brother's talking about, man.
That's right.
We have to pay for it now. Go ahead, bro.
And that swift judgment, it makes you make adjustments. Niggas that's not getting swift judgments, they're not making any adjustments on the wicked shit that they're doing. See, when we go off and the Lord jacks us up, that makes us consider what we're doing and then make a change so that we don't keep getting jacked up anymore.
Yep. That's why it says in Ecclesiastes 8:11, because sentence gives evil.
Yeah.
You know?
And these wicked people, at the end of the day, the scriptures say the wicked understandeth not judgment. These people don't understand that. They don't understand how the Lord judges matters, how the Lord carries out his judgment, and what the Lord expects of us. And, you know, when you're getting jacked up, that you need to evaluate what's happening on your end to fix the problem. These people don't get that. Right. This is verse 14. It says, for not as with other nations whom Yahweh patiently forbeareth to punish, till they become to the fullness of their sins, so dealeth he with us.
That's right. Because the Lord allows the heathens, all right, and the 2/3 are a part of that right now, because they're in that state of mind.
That's right.
You know, their wickedness stacks up. Okay, you got it, bro.
This is verse 15. It says, lest at being come to the height of sin afterwards, he should take vengeance of us. Hey, so you don't want the Lord to allow you to stack your sin up, so-called to the sky, and then you got to catch whatever he got as the judgment for all of that.
Yeah.
You know, you would rather, when you make the mistake, to get corrected right now, although it's grievous in the moment, it produces the fruit of righteousness, man. God. All right. This is verse 16. It says, and therefore he never withdraweth his mercy from us, and though he punish with adversity, yet doth he never forsake his people. So really, him being swift to punish us, here you go, bro. Him being swift to punish us is really the Lord's mercy.
Yeah.
Because once again, these people don't understand judgment. They don't know that the Lord not coming and getting them right now to rectify certain things is really a detriment unto them. These people think that because the Lord ain't did nothing to them, that he's cool with it.
Right.
They don't understand that you're going to have to pay an extreme heavy price.
That's right.
For doing the things that you was doing and not rectifying none of those things, man.
That's right, bro. I got a quick one for you. It's the book of Ecclesiastes 8:11. It says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily.
Yep.
Therefore, the hearts of the sons of men is fully set to them, in them to do evil.
That's right.
It says, though a sinner do an evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear Yahweh, which fear before him. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before Yahweh. So ultimately, the wicked is going to get their judgment, man, no matter how delayed it is.
Mm-hmm.
So it may look like they're winning right now. Psalm the 73rd chapter, you know. David said until he went to the sanctuary of the Lord, then he understood their end, how the Lord set them up in slippery places, man. The Lord is setting up their fall right now, and it's going to be very drastic. The scripture say, only with thine eyes shall I behold and see the reward of thine enemies, man, of the wicked. So we're going to witness this, you know, so they got to be up top for them to have a great fall.
That's right.
And we're going to be the witnesses of that.
That's right.
You know, hey, I'd rather have a coach that correct me immediately than have somebody that's just, okay, whatever.
Yeah, if they don't do that, that means they don't care about you. Because guess what? In the situation that the brother just mentioned, you know, this brother's a combat athlete, a mighty man. And if you are in the cage with somebody, and throughout your training, you was doing things that could lead to you getting beat up in the cage, and that comes with possibly, you know, being put to death, because that's a factor in there.
Yeah.
You know, if your coach is not telling you, hey, man, you might want to keep your hands up, or whatever little adjustment that you need to make to protect yourself, you know, if he's not telling you that, then he's really not a good coach, or he's a good coach that don't fuck with you.
Yeah.
And so he's not going to tell you, which really is that he wants to see you get hurt.
Yeah.
All right. That's what that is. All right. And, you know, the Lord, he wants to see these niggas get their judgment. He knows everybody's heart. He knows these niggas are wicked. That's why he don't even waste his time. That's why the scriptures say, don't cast your pearls before swine. All right. Now, we make ourselves fools for the sake of Hamashiach. We out and we go in the streets because that's what we was ordained to do. But at the end of the day, it's a certain spirit behind the way that we do that, man.
Yep.
And it's the same spirit that the Lord is in. Really, the only thing that we're doing this for is to wash our hands of the blood of these other people,
right,
and to prove to these other people that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is not unreasonable, is not wicked, and is not out of balance by not warning people before. And because that would be unjust if if people didn't know and they was getting jacked up for shit they didn't know. And that's the excuse that a lot of these jakes like to use. Well, God lets all this stuff happen, so if he let it happen, that mean that no, that's not what it mean. But see, y'all don't want to accept the pastors that the Lord appointed after his own heart. You want pastors that preach smooth things, and you want pastors after your own heart, not the pastors that the Lord set up. So you don't want to listen to the warning because it's not coming from who you want it to come from. But you can't say that the Lord didn't warn you. You know, you don't have a cloak for your sins, because the Lord set men up to take that away from you, man. And it starts with first and foremost with the men of old and Yahweh Shai, but with those men whose labors we entered to on this side. All right, the Lord has had men out since the 60s teaching this message in this wicked kingdom, man. And Jake don't want to listen.
Mm-hmm. That's right. I'm gonna hold this Sirach too.
You no.
Go ahead.
Let me get this first. We should end with that. This is 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. It says, "There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But Yahweh is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able.
That's right.
But will make the temptation, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it." All right. So we all have an appointed. Our life has been appointed unto us. All right. The Lord has ordained everything that's going to happen to you, and that has happened in the past, and that's how it's going to happen. So yes, we are going to go through things that the Lord purposefully said, I choose to put you in this situation. All right. And it's going to be some situations that's good. It's going to be some situations that's uncomfortable. But the Lord is not going to put you in an uncomfortable situation that's so bad that you're not going to be able to deal with it.
Right.
You know, the Lord is going to, because we go through these things, and when the brother read the Sirach too, it's going to say that the Lord, you know, acceptable men are tried in the furnace of adversity. And for you to receive the increase at the latter end, you have to endure through the temptation to get that. Right. You know, you get increased at the last end. And we was talking about earlier, like, you know, you'll go through things or whatever you go through, and you're going through what you're going through because the Lord wants to accomplish something and build you up in a certain way. And that situation is what's required to build you up on that level. once you achieve whatever it is that the Lord appointed unto you to achieve by going through certain situations, the Lord fixes the situation up very quickly once you get to the whatever the situation was given to you for. All right. Yeah. So, for example, if brothers are impatient and brothers pray, and I want to be more patient, the Lord is going to put you in situations where you're not going to have any choice but to be patient. If you pray for faith and you want to have more faith, the Lord is going to put you in situations where all you can do is rely on him and have faith in him. And once you get to the level where the Lord feels like that was accomplished, the Lord knows that was accomplished, you get delivered out of these problems quick, man. Yeah. But it's about keeping your faith and being willing to endure the fire. Like the brother said, it's like working out. If you're somebody that goes to work out, and as soon as you start feeling the discomfort in your set, that's when you stop, you're never going to grow. You're never going to get stronger, because really the increase comes from pushing through the pain, not from the reps that it takes to get to the pain. The reps that it takes to get to the pain really are not profitable, outside of the fact that it gets you to the place where, okay, now I can really start working. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like them last 3 or 4 reps in the set that you gotta kind of, you gotta push through the burn and push. It's more difficult to do. Those are the reps that you really grow from. The reps that you did before that are really, they're just there to get you to the place where, okay, now we start working out. Muhammad Ali said it once before, because he was doing sit-ups, and I think it was Howie Mandel or one of these motherfucking Edomites that do the interviews, asked him, how many sit-ups do you do? And he told him, I don't start counting until it hurts, because that's when the work really starts. All right?
That's right.
Go ahead, bro. You got it.
Was there more to that?
No, you good. You good.
Okay.
We all good.
This is Sirach 2 and verse 1. It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. All right, that's another thing too, man. The Lord gives you up front. This is how it is. This is how it's gonna be. So you did with Esau. He'll give you a contract, 1,000 page contract, and on page 872, you got to do this, that, and the third. So the Lord lays it out in the front. You're gonna go through these trials, man. Yeah. It says, set thy heart aright, meaning your mind, and constantly endure. All right, when you have to endure something, that means you're going through something. That's how you build that endurance. You got to go through it. All right, you got to constantly push. It says, and make not haste in time of trouble, right? Because sometimes when you make haste, it ends off worse.
Yeah, and you're not getting the message.
Yep, and it shows lack of faith.
Yeah, because when you're making haste, see, the Lord will have you in a situation where it may take time for you to get to to the level you need to get to before that situation ends. That's just how it is, And when you're making haste and you're making haste, that's almost like you're not taking responsibility for why you're even in the situation in the first place, because you're just so focused on trying to get out of it. And like the brother said, you'll get out of it any kind of way you can get out of it, which will often lead to you making a bigger mistake later, instead of, okay, I fucked up. What was I doing that caused me to fuck up? Let me slow down. Let me make this adjustment. Let me fix X, Y, and Z, so that then when I do this again, the next time I'm going to do it the right way.
That's right.
Right. But if you're in a rush and you're just looking for the first exit, it's not that first. Oftentimes, the first way out of something is not the right way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And going into like I said, man, it just shows your lack of faith.
Yeah.
All right. Like the brother said, you miss out on the whole lesson of what's going on. You take the first exit out, and you end up in an even worse situation. Or that experience you could have gained from that past situation, you didn't get it, so you couldn't apply it for the next situation.
Yeah.
So it's just, the Most High knows what he's doing, and you have to have that connection with him.
Yeah, and the Lord is not gonna you think that you're getting off on the first exit out of a situation and that you're just gonna move past it. The Lord is not gonna allow you to progress until you address whatever it is that he says that you need to be addressing right now.
Hey, that video game is checkpoints.
Yeah, exactly.
Checkpoints.
Exactly. You're not just finna, I don't want to play through this whole game, so I'm going to just play the first 10 minutes of the first level, and then I'm going to jump straight to the end.
Hell no.
Even if you put the cheat code in and you do that shit, you're going to get dusted off.
Yeah.
All right? Because for you, in the game, in the analogy of the video game, you're playing through the video game, leveling up throughout the process of playing the game.
That's
so
right.
that when you get to the end of the game, you're built up on a level to where you can deal with the challenges that the end of the game have.
That's right.
But if you're just trying to put a cheat code in and jump to the end, and you haven't gone through and made no progress, you don't have skills on how to play the game or nothing like that,
Yep.
you're not going to be, you're going to go and get dusted off, man. All right, and it's the same thing with this truth. If you have certain things, because every brother has certain things that they're deficient in, all right?
Yeah,
None of us
yeah.
are perfect, all right? The Lord is going to line this stuff up that you're not good at on the list, and you're going to check everything off the list one by one.
That's
You're
right.
not going to be just jumping, oh, well, I don't want to solve these problems in this order. I'm going to do it in the order I want to. That's not how it works. The Lord has, the path has been ordained the way it has been ordained for a reason, man. The Lord wants you to progress the way he wants you to progress for a reason.
Right.
Anything outside of that is outside of his will, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's right, man. All right, it says, verse 3, cleave unto him. All right, so stand close. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It says, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Right, so it's benefits. You know, and you have that spiritual growth. You got that XP points.
That's it.
Like you said, to get to that next level, to go through that next level. You know, you got to go through it to grow through it.
That's right.
You know, and you increase at thy last end. The scriptures say, when thou art converted, meaning strengthened, all right, strengthen thy brethren.
That's right.
So through that experience, you can save another brother from that experience.
That's right.
You know,
And that's what we're supposed to be doing. Go ahead, bro.
and that's what the elder bro Murph says all the time. It's just different glories with the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the elder bros crawl so we can walk. It's certain shit we don't have to go through anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and I'll say, like, just being around, you know, the elder Murph and thinking about where I was at when I first came into the truth, on my level of maturity, my level of standards for myself, and things of that nature. You know, it was a lot of things that I had to change. There's still a lot of things that I got to change and get better at, because it's always a work in progress and it's always some more of it. But what the brother Kadar just said, you know, your time for you to receive your glory is appointed unto you. And if you endure in this truth and do the things that you're supposed to, you're going to have your opportunity to receive those benefits as well. Now, the ultimate glory, you know, Yahushua is going to get his first. Then we'll fall in line wherever we fall in line for that.
That's right.
But even in this walk and being around brothers, you know, for brothers that's fortunate enough to be around elder bros, you know, me and this brother, you know, are fortunate enough to be and spend a lot of time with elder bros. And you have to you got to be thankful for that. And you also have to understand that, hey, man, right now we are in training. You know, we have to be built up on a level. That's what the elder bros is there for. That's why the Lord put them in our life, for them to build us up.
That's right.
And for us to be on a level. And you got to know that, hey, man, yeah, one day you will be like them. Even in the scriptures, you know, you'll get a double portion of their spirit in due time, when it's your time to get that. You can't be trying to compare yourself to older bros that's on that level, that's been doing this for 10 years, 20 years, because they put in the work to get on the level where they at now. We're still children, you know, in this thing. And we're gonna be built up. That's why the Lord set us up to be around these men. But you know, it's all in due time. It's all about order.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that brothers got to consider. You know, when you're around older bros, hey, man, it's not about you trying to be on the level of that brother. It's not about you. Or, for example, you with an older brother and he's telling stories and you know how certain individuals are, where they want to one-up stories and they want to say, that's not what it's about. All right. What we're around these older brothers is for us to learn what they're doing, like he said, you know, learn what not to do because of what they did and mistakes they made, but learn what to do. And you know, throughout the process of time and staying dedicated, the Lord is going to bring you up on the level. And it's not going to be, see, when you raise niggas up to another level and it happens fast, that's how niggas get proud.
Yeah.
The Lord is not raising us up fast and quickly. You know, we're being raised up, but we're being humbled at the same time. And that keeps us in a state of humility so that we don't get proud. See, all these niggas in the world that get exalted, these rap niggas or these NFL, NBA niggas, whatever. A nigga that was fucked up and then, you know, the next day he not fucked up no more.
Yep.
Those be the proudest niggas, man.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord is setting us up to not be like that. But you have to understand that it's order to this thing. And your glory is going to come at your appointed time. You don't need to be looking at other brothers' gifts or blessings or saying, oh, well, I think comparing yourself to other men that's on a way higher level than you, man.
Right.
That will plague your mind.
That's right.
But go ahead, brother.
Yeah, you can't compare your chapter 5 to another brother chapter 20.
Exactly.
You know, these elder men have their exercises since their senses exercised, you know.
Yep.
And you had made a point, bro. It was a good point going into how if somebody didn't experience anything, if they didn't go through anything and they were just given everything.
Yeah.
You know, this Galatians 4:1. Now I say that the heir, all right, which is next up in line to be ruler, as long as he is a child, differeth nothing from a servant, though he be Lord of all, but is under tutors and governors until the time appointed of the father, right? So an heir, you know, when he's a child, and even you see that in the Alexander movie, he was training with his brothers.
Yeah.
He was getting beat if he was acting up. He was getting taught different languages. All right, he was under that yoke.
Yeah.
You know, like and that's what we're under right now. We're being built up to be kings.
That's right.
You know, they have a quote. They say, "Kings aren't born; kings are made."
That's right.
You know, you have to be forged.
That's right.
The Lord, if the Lord was to give us everything now, and that's ultimately why this whole story is playing out, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the kingdom, we're gonna be grateful.
That's right.
To not be able to go off. We went through the experience.
Yeah.
Our Lord went through the experience. So he's going to be glorified first, and then after that is the elect.
That's right.
You know? But I just want to hit that quick point. I don't want to stray too much off topic, bro.
That's all good.
This Sirach 2 in verse 4, it says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. You know, and once again, going into the point that was made, there's lessons in it. You have to understand that. You know, it's just, that's just things you have to understand. You have to get that experience and know that when the Lord takes you out of it, that's when you learned your lesson.
That's right.
You know, the Lord will put you in that fire, cool you off for a little bit. You'll be cooling. Yeah. You know, because Job says, "Shall we not receive good from the Most High and not receive evil?" Yeah. You're not gonna be in the fire all the fucking time, bro. Yeah. That's just off.
And that's the spirit, because I was thinking of the book of Job too, and that's one of my favorite books because it shows you that, because Jake got the mindset of when things aren't going well for him, they want to curse the Most High. Yeah. Or even if they don't necessarily curse the Most High, they have a woe is me spirit about things. And, you know, what I love about the book of Job the most is that Job went through what he went through because that's what the Lord appointed for him, but it wasn't because he was a wicked man. You know, the Lord was actually boasting in Job's righteousness, and our righteousness is as filthy rags. So if the Lord was boasting in Job's righteousness and made a wager with Satan on Job's righteousness, you know, that's a heavy honor, man.
Yeah, yep.
That the Lord would put his name on the line, knowing that Job wasn't gonna go off.
Yep.
And knowing what he was gonna getting ready to put him through. Yeah. You know. That's a great honor. And all the things that are written aforetime are written for our learning. And when we're going through the things that we're going through, you know, that's why it's important when we're doing and we're in this truth. You gotta believe you're a man of the Lord, not in the sense of being proud, but in the sense of, hey man, Job was a man of the Lord. He went through what he had to go through, but the Lord knew he wasn't going to fold the whole time and boasted in that fact, man. And you got to really believe that when we're going through the things that we're going through and Satan is fucking with us, that the Lord is having the same conversation with Satan that he had as it pertaining to Job. Not putting us on Job's level, but saying that, hey, you know, you can go try to fuck with him if you want to, but he's not going to curse. He's not going to curse me. Yeah. He's not going to turn his back on me no matter what he goes through. And I'll let you exercise everything except killing him, and he's still not going to do that. Yeah. You know, you got to believe that that's how the Lord is talking about you in the spirit world when you going through the things and Satan comes and fucks with you, man. Because that's what it is. If you're in this truth and you're a man of the Lord, when the Lord sends Satan to go and bother with you, he's just proving a friend. But the Lord already knows how your heart is, you know. And so it's important that you keep that in mind. And when you're going through it, man, read that book of Job and see.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that the flesh don't get weak, because Job was weary. Job
Questioning.
had to get rebuked too. You know, it's everything is double. It's balanced. It's, you know, it's good sides and bad sides to everything. You know, it's not saying that he was perfect or that he wasn't feeling it, because he was. But he was such a man that the Lord was willing to risk his name in saying that this man not gonna break it.
Yeah.
And it don't matter what you do to him.
Yeah.
And that's the spirit that we want to be in, because these devils is getting ready to do. They about to throw the kitchen sink out here, man.
Yeah.
And you know, the Lord is. We have to have faith that the Lord is going to deliver us through all of those things.
And another reason why you can't just skip the trial, man, because we're not just going to wake up one day in Jacob's trouble and have that measure of faith.
Yeah.
That is built up through time.
That's right.
It's like a fight camp.
Yeah.
You get your body, your mind, your spirit prepared for war. You don't just wake up and go in there. You can't.
Yeah.
You know, you have to get prepared for that mentally, physically, most importantly, spiritually.
That's right.
You know? So when this time comes, we've already been built up through the experiences. The Lord said his servant is going to eat.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord said his servant is going to drink. You know? So this is vital, man. We're all going through our own Job experience.
That's right.
You know, on our own different measures.
That's right.
You know, I keep reading. It says, verse 5, for gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. You know, so that gold has to be purified through that fire. Mm-hmm. You know, because when you dig it out, it has that dirt in it. It has that dross. All right, that excess on it, man. You got to burn it. You got to purify it. Mm-hmm. Okay? Take it out. Take it out the fire. Put it back in the fire. Take it out the fire. Cool it down for a little bit. That's our lives, man.
Yeah.
And best believe our lives is in the hand of Yahweh Shemel Shai.
That's right.
You know?
And notice that an alternative way of becoming an acceptable man is not listed there. Meaning that the only way for you to be labeled as an acceptable man, according to Yahweh Shemel Shai, is for you to go through these trials and tribulations. It's no other way to do it. All right, so that's why the scriptures say, woe to them who come up another way.
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
Yep. It says, believe in him, and he will help thee. All right, scripture says, without faith, it's impossible to please him. Hebrews 11:6. You know, Hebrews 11 is a heavy chapter, man. It says, and he will help thee. So like, believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. All right, hey, Zephaniah 3:8. Wait upon me, saith the Lord. Mm-hmm. You know, hey, so ultimately we're on the Lord's time, and this ain't something where we rush the Lord. That's right. And guess what? The Lord is never late.
That's right.
He's always on time.
Yeah, because if you listen, and because his ways are not our ways. The Lord's level of understanding is completely different than ours. He has a perception of everything all at once. He sees all points in time all at once. He's in all points in time at once. All right. You give somebody a certain thing in the wrong appointed time, and it'll destroy them. Yeah. But if you give them a certain thing at the right appointed time, it will build them up and put them on another level. And the Lord understands that. And we have a low level understanding of that, but we are in this flesh, and our flesh, you know, the flesh just wants to be pleased. It don't care about all of these nuances and all of these details that the Lord is taking into account when he's putting us through these things. It just cares about being comfortable, you know. But a lot of times you have to consider that you do want certain things, and the Lord wants to give you all of those things that you pray for. It's not that the Lord doesn't want to give you those things, but the Lord does not move on our time, and it's for a reason. Yep. All right, you get the wrong thing in the wrong season of your life, and it can destroy you. Whereas if you get if you get the same thing at the right time in your life, it won't be a detriment to you. It can build you up, or, you know, for example, certain Jakes might be going through I ain't been with a woman in a while, or I'm having problems with women. I've been through that before too, you know. And it might not be time for you to be dealing with no woman, because you need to get built up in this truth.
That's right.
And make sure that you have that on lock first before the Lord starts giving you women, because women are a distraction. Yeah. And will knock you off of your horse if you're not sound, man. You know, so that's just a small example of what I'm talking about. You got to be on a certain level and then be ready for the responsibilities of certain things that the Lord wants to give us. The Lord is not just going to give those things up front because it'll destroy you.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead,
right,
bro. You
man.
got it.
But nah, that was it. Did you have any more?
Nah, we all good.
Con. But Lord willing, that was edifying. We're gonna close out with that. We want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kakodash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the full elect. Lord willing, we be a part of that number. All right, Shalom, Kwame Sharala, and the Bible Ball.
Shalom, Abba Ball.